Welcome to the chemistry question. Jordan here, and here are 118 fun facts about chemistry, one for each element. We're going to try and get through these in 10 minutes, which is going to be really difficult. So here we go. Hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe. Most helium on Earth comes from radioactive decay. Lithium is the lightest metal. Its density is just over half that of water. Beryllium is transparent to X-rays. Crystalline boron has a hardness close to that of diamond. Carbon is so important that the whole field of organic chemistry solely studies it, and organic chemistry studies everything else. Very few metals react with nitrogen at room temperature. Notable exceptions are the alkaline earth metals and lithium. Oxygen is not the most common gas in the atmosphere, but it is the most common element in the crust. Fluorine is the most electronegative element. Most neon signs do not contain neon. Sodium is the most explosive alkali metal because it allows hydrogen gas to build up before it ignites. Magnesium burns very bright and very hot. It is a great campfire starter. Aluminum is the most common metal in Earth's crust. At one point was considered more valuable than gold. Silicon is the second most abundant element in the crust and is used to make computer chips. Phosphorus was discovered by boiling urine. Sulfur is more allotrope than any element but carbon. Chlorine has the highest electron affinity of any element. Argon is the most common noble gas in Earth's atmosphere. Natural potassium contains a small amount of radioactive potassium-40, the chief source of radiation in the body. Calcium-40 is the heaviest stable isotope with an equal number of protons and neutrons. Scandium is named after Scandinavia. Titanium produces bright white sparks when ground down. This is a way to tell titanium apart from marketing hype. Vanadium is added to strengthen steel. The chrome used to decorate cars contains very little chromium, just a very thin surface layer. The CIA had Howard Hughes to build a submarine with the stated goal of collecting manganese nodules off the ocean floor when in reality they were trying to raise a Russian sub. Iron is the heaviest stable element to be produced in the sun. Cobalt compounds have been used throughout history to make blue dyes. The nickel coin is only 25% nickel. Copper is one of two metals that does not have a silver color to it, the other being gold. Zinc is added to copper to make brass. Gallium, a solid at room temperature, will melt in your hand. Germanium is the only non-radioactive element to be named after a modern-day country. Arsenic sublimates unless put under increased pressure. Selenium has both black and red allotropes. Bromine is the only non-metallic element to be liquid at room temperature. From 1960 to 1983, the meter was defined in terms of the 605 nanometer spectral line of krypton 86. Rubidium was named after the bright red spectral lines it gives off. Strontium is taken up by the body as if it were calcium and can even promote bone growth. Yttrium is one of four elements named after the city of Ytterby, Switzerland. The crystal form of zirconium's oxide, cubic zirconia, is famous for being used for fake diamonds. Until 1950, niobium was known in America as columbium, a name still occasionally used. Molybdenum's main ore, molybdenite, is often mistaken for graphite. Technetium was the first element to be artificially produced. Ruthenium can be used to harden palladium and platinum alloys. Rhodium is one of the most expensive precious metals, yet a rhodium plating is more corrosion resistant than silver and can be made so thin that it is often used in cheap jewelry. Over half the supply of palladium is used to make catalytic converters. Silver is the highest electrical conductivity of any metal. In 2009, 86% of cadmium was used in batteries. Indium is so soft that it can be cut with a knife. Below 13 degrees Celsius, tin will crumble into a gray amorphous powder. Antimony trioxide is used as a flame retardant. When gold occurs as a compound of nature, it is usually bonded with tellurium. The body needs iodine to synthesize thyroid hormones. Once thought to be completely unreactive, the discovery of xenon compounds in 1962 showed that even noble gases can react. Pure cesium is silver, though cesium often looks gold because it is almost impossible to completely remove the oxide. The name for barium means heavy, even though the metal is lighter than titanium, which is typically considered light. Lanthanum carbonate can be used to prevent renal failure. Cerium is the most abundant rare earth metal. Mish metal used in cigarette lighters contains about 5% praseodymium. Neodymium is alloyed with iron and boron to make powerful rare earth magnets. Promethium and technetium are the only two non-radioactive elements to be followed by stable elements. Samarium is alloyed with cobalt to form strong magnets. Europium is the most reactive lanthanide. Gadolinium is used in brain scans. Terbium is a component of terphen LD, an alloy that expands or contracts in the presence of a magnetic field. Dysprosium is used in dosimeters to measure radiation. Though only slightly attracted to a magnet at room temperature, holmium has the highest magnetic moment of any metal. Rubidium oxide can be used to give glass a pink color. Thulium is the least abundant stable lanthanide on Earth. Some isotopes of ytterbium are used as gamma ray sources. Lutetium-176 can be used to date meteorites. Hafnium is incredibly difficult to separate from zirconium due to chemical similarity. As Tantalus was the father of niobium in Greek mythology, tantalum is below niobium on the periodic table. Tungsten has the highest melting point of any metal. Rhenium was the last stable element to be discovered. Osmium is considered the densest element. A layer of Earth's crust unusually rich in iridium is one of the key pieces of evidence in the theory that dinosaurs were killed by a meteor. Platinum is named after the Spanish platinum, meaning little silver. All the gold mined in the history of mankind could fit into a cube 20.7 meters, or about 68 feet on each side. Mercury is the only liquid metal at room temperature. Gallium was a notorious poison until the pigment Prussian blue was discovered to be an antidote. The 2003 discovery of bismuth's radioactivity, lead is the heaviest stable element. Bismuth is the most diamagnetic metal, meaning it repels a magnet the most strongly. Polonium-210 was used in anesthetic brushes, though its half-life is only 138 days, so don't expect to harvest any polonium from it. Astatine is the rarest naturally occurring element, with less than an ounce existing on the entire planet at any given time. Despite its short half-life, radon can still be of concern because it is the daughter isotope of almost every heavier radioactive element. With its most stable half-life of just 22 minutes, francium has the shortest half-life of any naturally occurring element. Radium salts used to be used in making glow-in-the-dark paint. Because of a similar chemistry to lanthanum, actinium is incredibly difficult to extract from ores, and is instead usually synthesized by bombarding radium with neutrons. Thorium-232 has a half-life comparable to the age of the universe. The name protactinium means before actinium, referring to the fact that it decays into actinium. Most ironic use of uranium, radiation shielding. Neptunium has the largest liquid range of any element. Plutonium has been used to power pacemaker batteries. Americium is used in smoke detectors, making it the only transuranium element you can buy at a grocery store. Most cerium-3 compounds are yellow. Only about 1 gram of berkelium has been produced in the United States since 1967. Californium is the heaviest element that can occur without nuclear synthesis. Einsteinium is the heaviest element to be produced in visible quantities. Fermium was discovered in debris from the first hydrogen bomb explosion. Mendelevium is named after Mendeleev, who created the periodic table. Nobelium was named to commemorate Alfred Nobel. Lawrencium was named after the inventor of the cyclotron particle accelerator. It was synthesized in the early 1960s. A discovery and therefore naming dispute kept Rutherfordium from being adopted as the official name until 1997. Dubnium was named for Dubna, Russia, where it was first synthesized. Seaborgium was one of only 2 elements to be named after a person who was alive at the time, the other being Einsteinium. Bohrium was originally named Niels Bohrium, but this was rejected as there was no precedent for using a scientist's complete name as the name of an element. Hassium was named after the German state of Hesse. Lise Meitner's scientific achievement of the discovery of nuclear fission was overlooked by the Nobel Committee, who awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics to Otto Hahn instead for the discovery, though Meitner got the last laugh when she got an element named after her. Darmstadtium is named after the city Darmstadt, Germany, where it was discovered. Roentgenium is named after Wilhelm Röntgen, who discovered X-rays. Copernicium is named after Copernicus, who had nothing to do with chemistry. Yttrium is a placeholder name for the element until its discovery is confirmed and a name decided. Fluorovium-298 is predicted to be in the island of stability and thus have an unusually long half-life. Penta represents the Greek word for 5, while the 2 uns in unum Pentium are Latin. Following Latin naming, the element should be named unum Quinium, but that would have caused confusion with unum Quadium. Livermorium is the heaviest element to have been given an official name, having first been synthesized in 2010. Unum Septium is the most recently synthesized element. Only 3 atoms of unum Octium have ever been detected. Alright, we did that in about 9.5 minutes, which I think is really good to go through 118 elements. Sorry I stumbled on a few of them, but it's really hard to go for that long without messing up. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Be sure to subscribe and leave questions or suggestions in the comments below. Thank you for watching.